And I don't even know. It says that we're live. So
Yay, we're live.
hopefully it's true. And so I want to welcome everybody to what I have called I stole from you email marketing unfiltered.
Yes,
Because we're not holding nothing back, pulling no punches. Gonna give you the real truth about what we're seeing when it comes to making money with email in 2023. So I'm your boy, your cousin, and your nephew, Donnie Bryant. This is the one and only Maria Lloyd. Maria, I'm glad you're making time to chop it up with me today.
oh no, thank you for making the time. I'm super excited. I think more of us in this industry need to do these sort of things together, right? Like I mentioned on my post, I think it's weird how people will like meet another copywriter and then instantly feel threatened. Like, we do the same thing. I mean, you and
Yeah,
me literally do the same thing, right?
literally.
And so it's like people will look at that and be like, oh my gosh, that's my competition. Like, I know I don't want to talk to them. No, like you and me, we have some of the best conversations, like exchanging ideas,
Yeah,
exchanging hacks and strategies. And I mean, so I think it's so weird that people don't look at people in their industry, their peers, as allies
yeah,
or, strategic partners. You and me, we have strategic partnerships. So
yep,
it's just really crazy. But yeah, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for doing this. I'm excited.
yeah, for sure. I mean, and it comes down to the scarcity mindset, right?
True.
If
Yeah,
you feel that there's maybe just a handful of clients who could pay me, and they could also pay this other person, I better hold on to what I can hold on to, any advantage that I've got. It's not true. There's
exactly.
tens of millions of clients. I don't want
Literally.
the people that you want. You don't want the people that I want. And they don't want the people I want. You don't want me, and vice versa. So
Right.
there's no reason to feel that way. And I mean, the real truth is you're going to get the best learning that you're going to get is by doing. But if I can find out from what you're doing, and you can find out from what I'm doing, we can accelerate, elevate even faster. Because there's only so much I
Exactly.
can do by myself, only so much anyone can do on their own. So getting together like this, masterminding,
Yep.
it's only upside.
Exactly. Yep. So yeah, that's why I said, I really appreciate you for making this time because yeah, we need to do more of these things. Now, I think I don't want to give away some of the goods, but I think we are going to do this again. So,
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I think this is true. I think that you are a leader in this space, especially in the Black community. I'm trying to be as well. And so, who better to pioneer this, bring this energy, right, of collaboration, of sharing, of abundance than
Yes.
you and I. So, yeah, I think we're going to do at least one or two more of these.
Absolutely. And I'm looking at your Facebook page because I want to share this and I don't
Okay.
see it on your page. So I
Okay.
don't know where we are. Maybe we're on LinkedIn, but
This it's interesting. I'm
this,
getting comments from YouTube. I don't know about. I mean, it says we're live on Facebook, but I don't really know. Let
okay, I
me see.
wonder which page.
We are
Um,
live. Let me see something.
because I checked your fan page and your personal page and I don't see it. And while you're checking into that, I just want to say something. I know you did not just say you are trying to be a leader in this space, sir. Now you need to cut that out. Y'all hear this man? All this humility. You trying to downplay. No, you know you are. You are absolutely a leader in this space. Now you know that.
Well, I appreciate you saying
You
that.
know that.
Well, listen, and I. This is a burden. Burden is the wrong word. It's a desire. One of the strongest desires that I have is to really help push us forward. So
Yeah.
a lot
Yeah.
of times I'm doing that. So I don't know. I guess yes, I'm a leader. I'm just trying to be as much of a leader as possible, and I feel like there's more. There's so much more to do.
There is. I mean, when you think about leadership, okay, great. I do see us on your LinkedIn. Well, I don't know how to share it from LinkedIn. Oh my goodness. Am I aging myself?
The Carice said I tried to watch from Facebook, but the link didn't work. So weird. I don't know what happened. When I click from here, view on Facebook, it's there. So I don't. maybe I can.
This is so strange because I see us on your LinkedIn, but I cannot share it. Anybody who's commenting? You said people are commenting from
Yeah, from YouTube. All the comments I see are on are on YouTube.
YouTube. Okay, this is so interesting, y'all. Sorry. Look, we're writers, okay? We're not,
Yeah,
you
we
know,
we should have
we're
brought the
not
tech
IT
people in
support.
to handle this for us.
I know, right? Seriously. Okay, I'm gonna mute myself because I'm gonna click on the video on LinkedIn and see if
Okay.
I can but I don't want to, have feedback. So I'm gonna mute myself really quick.
Okay. All right. So, Emily, is that the way you pronounce your name? Thank you for sharing, spreading the word about this broadcast this morning, and thank you for hanging out with us today, Conrad, my guy. Good to see you, Nikki Jones, another one of my favorite people. So, and Carice, I know you from someplace, right? I can't remember where now. Thank you for hanging out with us, and we're going to give you. We're just having preliminary introductory stuff, so we're going to get into some juicy nuggets in just 2 seconds. Hopefully, I don't know. Like I said, I can see Facebook when I click the link from here. I haven't tried to get access from Facebook itself.
Okay. Well, I mean, I was able to share. I'm glad I muted myself because it did have us talking, but I did share the video on my LinkedIn. So I don't see it on your Facebook, but yeah, I think we're good. We got
You're
Facebook.
right. I'm looking at it and I don't see it on my own stuff either.
So unless maybe it's in a Facebook group, is it in the Black
It
Copywriter?
shouldn't be because I didn't connect it to the group. It is what it is at this point.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, we'll get it right next time, y'all. We'll get it right.
Yeah, I should have. We should have did like a practice round of this, but anyway,
It's fine.
This will be what it is.
It's our first mini, so it's cool.
Exactly. All right, so Maria, first of all, give us a peek behind the curtains of what you're working on right now. Whatever is not too classified to share.
Yeah, so right now, we've been doing a lot of work for some organizations that support nonprofits, building out some follow-up lead gen email sequences and campaigns, and also building out some automation, which I'm very excited to talk about today. So that's what we've been working on, not only just in the nonprofit space, but we also just signed another client this week, actually. Shout out to Gifting for Growth. So we signed another client this week where, again, we are writing their lead gen follow-up sequences and also building out the automation to support that. So yeah, some very exciting things. Yes. And Conrad, I could not agree with you more. Accelerate and elevate together. You are right.
And it's anyone who gets to actually work with you is very blessed and fortunate, because I know you say no to basically everybody.
Yeah, that's true. And thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, it's important because I always explain to people, especially with this economy, Donnie, people have been saying, oh my gosh, the economy. And if you're looking at the news, thousands of people are losing their jobs left and right, right? And so people assume that, everyone's just clenching their fist and no one is spending money on these types of services. But the reality is, we are still very much needed. I do believe that this is a recession-proof industry because if you think about it, words are literally everywhere, right? And so there are some industries that absolutely thrive during a recession or an economic downturn. And those industries in particular, ours being one of them, but those industries in particular need folks like us to be able to convey the messages that they're trying to portray to their target audience and their existing customers. So yeah, I mean, it's just, hi, Nikki. So, it's needed, it's necessary. And yeah, I mean, thankfully, we have been able to connect with some incredible businesses and business owners. And if it's a great fit, then hey, we just rock and roll. So yeah, that's what my team and we've been working on that quite a bit lately. And like I said, we just signed another client this week.
Great fit. The standard is high though, because Maria ain't playing with nobody. Like you can't just show up any kind of way. Like
no,
she'll also tell you, this ain't working. Nah.
So, this is true. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm not going to, because here's the truth, right? I realize that investing in a skilled copywriter is a premium cost, period. Yep. Right? It's a premium cost. And so I can understand why when business owners or business leaders reach out, there is some skepticism. They are wondering, am I going to get an ROI on my money, right? Because they don't know.
Sure.
And so if I'm talking to someone, a lead, and they're giving me that kind of, I'm not really sure, immediately I realize that it's probably not a good fit, right? Because if you're nervous, and again, I can understand why. I'm not judging the nervousness. Don't get me wrong, I'm not judging it. I understand why you're nervous. But if you're nervous in this conversation after I've explained to you what we have done for so many other entities, right? And how we're going to do this for you, if there still is that nervousness, then it's probably not a good fit. Now it doesn't mean I can't, maybe I need to, brush up on my sales skills too. So it may not be all their fault, but I will say that, usually when I realize that I'm like, okay, yeah, it's probably not a good fit. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I want to stay there for 1 second because
Okay.
it's an interesting point. Selling, like we do. I guess
Yeah.
there's a level of selling in terms of closing deals, and we talk about that.
Yeah.
But then there's also like in terms of just not if I have to convince you of this, is that a red flag that this is going to be a difficult relationship going forward? You're always going to be second guessing, questioning, undercutting, and is it maybe just not always worth it? I know when you're earlier in your career and you're just trying to make, get whatever revenue in that you
Yeah.
can, you'll maybe beg, not beg, I don't want to say beg, but you'll work harder to close the deal.
Yeah.
Somebody like yourself and me too. I'm quick to say, I mean, I'm not gonna sell you on me. I'm just past that point now. How do
Yeah.
you feel about that? Yeah, just answer that question first.
So, it's an interesting point, because whenever I get into a conversation with a lead, and if that lead does not convert, the first thing I do is I assess me, right? I don't automatically assume that this person is just stupid or that this person is just, scared or whatever, right?
Sure.
And while maybe those things are true, but I first look at myself and say, okay, so where in this conversation did I fail to convey to them the value of working with us, right? And so I think that, sales it's an art. It's art. And one thing that we know about art is very subjective.
Yeah.
And then art also can be very abstract. And while there are some fundamental sales principles and persuasion principles that I follow, if we get to a point where a person, after I've already conveyed the benefits of working and why they need to work with someone like us, if that person is still not, like, by the end of that conversation, if it's not a strong yes, then I pretty much am of the belief that, okay, this was just not a good fit, right? For whatever reason. Again, maybe the person's scared, maybe they're stupid, maybe I screwed up somewhere in the conversation. Um, but yeah, I have to agree with you that I'm not really at that point where there's like the strong arm sales, where if somebody gives me a no initially, I'm like, well, wait a minute now. Did you consider, I'm not really there. Now, it's not to say that there's anything wrong with that. To be honest, I think most, sales gurus would actually laugh at us and say, "Oh, well, that sucks for you guys because really that's where the money is when
Right.
you get a little when kind of double down, right?" And maybe my position on this will change at some point, but right now I'm very energetically driven when it comes to business. And
Yeah.
so the energy doesn't feel cohesive. I'm inclined to say, you know what? I don't think it's a good fit. Doesn't mean it's not a good fit forever. But in this moment, it seems like we're not a good fit. And so we can just table this, right? Or and I can recommend some other copyright. Again, that's the power of collaboration.
Yeah.
I can refer you to some other copywriters that maybe will be a better fit. So I do kind of, go off of my energy with that person. If the energy doesn't feel aligned, if it's not absolute cohesiveness, I'm gonna be inclined to just, say, yeah, this isn't a good fit.
I think that's really, all those points are very good. Energy is, if you can afford to say no, uh, then that needs to be the next consideration, right? Because believe me, I've spent many years, way longer than it feels like it should have been the case, where energy didn't matter. It's like, are you gonna pay me? Fine, let's do it. Whatever you want to do. Almost. I mean, there were some exceptions where I said that project is too crazy, but I was taking money from anybody, and then at some point you say, this is taking a real toll on my mentality, my relationships, because I'm grumpy or too worn out. So energy is super important when you get to the point where you can be a little bit more selective. I want to see if you'll do this for me.
Okay.
Because you said, I'm gonna put you on the spot. You said there are some persuasion techniques I use, and then you didn't tell us what they are. So when you're on the phone with somebody, I know I want to see how much you are willing to share with. For those of us who are in the process of trying to close more deals, what kind of insights? I know every conversation is living, and you have to be flexible and deal with people where they are. What insight can you give into how you, what persuasion techniques you apply, or that other people could apply that maybe you don't apply anymore because you're past the point of really pushing?
Okay, so you're putting me on the spot, but I actually like this.
Give us one.
I know, right? So, all right. The first thing I would encourage someone, like the real art of persuasion starts with listening, right? You've got to listen first. And so when I say listen, and we do this with copy too, right? We do this. People think that the hardest part about copy is writing. No, the hardest part is the research. It's the listening, right?
Yeah.
And so what I would say is first you've got to listen, because if you don't listen with the intent of trying to really understand this lead and where they're coming from, you've already lost from that. I mean, it's already a done deal, right? What you're listening for are the pain points. You're listening. You've come onto the call with an idea of what those pain points are. But once you engage them in conversation and you be quiet and you let them do most of the talking, you actually realize that some of those pain points are either non-existent for them, or it's even worse than you thought. Right? And so after you engage them in conversation and you learn more about what their pain points are, now in terms of the persuasion, it's okay. So, you just repeat those pain points to them, right? And then what you're doing, it's almost like a puzzle. You are matching what you can do to solve the issue, right? And so if there is a little bit, basically what you're doing is you're leading them to the end of the light, the
end of the tunnel.
Thank you. The light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you, Donnie. Lost it there for a second. But that's what you're doing. You're leading them to that light. And you're doing that by reminding them, because even in their conversation with you, they may not even realize what these pain points are. That's your job as the person who's trying to sell them on a service. It's your responsibility to hear them out and find out and figure out what those pain points are, because they may not even notice that that's a pain point. And again, you're coming in and you're saying, okay, so you said to me that, you're tired of having to, it seems like you're starting over every time you're trying to launch a sale, right? Okay, boom. And you also shared with me that it seems like, your messaging is inconsistent. And it seems like, right, you're literally just repeating what they said. And you'll say, okay, well, I will let you know that in terms of that starting over, I know exactly how you feel. I've worked with clients and that's another thing, empathy, which is the number one skill for copywriters, right? We got to empathize. You've got to empathize with their pain. So you've got to not only listen, repeat, you have to affirm them in that pain and say, You know what? I know exactly what you mean. I've worked with clients who've been through that before. I have been through that before. If that's true, you don't want to lie. I have been through that before. And let me explain to you how that can be resolved. That's why we do email automation to
Yeah.
resolve that, right? So that you can continue that conversation and not have to be present in that moment all the time. So, see, the persuasion techniques really exist in your ability to listen, your ability to repeat what those issues are, your ability to affirm and empathize with them in those pain points, and then align your product or service with those needs. So, yeah, that's it.
That's a bar right there.
Thank you.
And I know there's two things I want to add into that, and I know you're just like giving us the overview, uh, the loaded questions, because there are questions that we know we can ask that
Hmm.
we know will elicit, it'll get those pain points out,
Yeah,
and or it will point out to the prospect what they're missing, and they don't even realize they're missing.
that's very true.
So, you can learn some of those things. We won't get deep into that. But I mean, for example, if you said, what's their average lifetime value of your customer? 90% of people don't know that.
True.
And then you can, like, and not to beat them up, it's really important to really understand that, because then that lets you know what your allowable costs of acquisitions are, and lets you know what you can put
Mhm.
in. And then they start thinking, I don't know that. I need to know that. This person knows what they're talking about, and they can help me get that information. And it
Great
shifts the
point.
power dynamic from where they feel like when they're the ones asking the questions, and you're on the defensive, and you feel like you have to defend yourself, which is not a power play. And when you're asking the questions and they have to defend themselves, which shifts the power back in your direction.
Yep.
So anyway, that's one thing. And then the other thing, I know that this is easier for us. Well, I shouldn't say us, but I mean, the more you're in this industry, the more jobs that you do, the more people you work with, you have stories. But
Yes.
when you're empathizing, like you said, I know exactly what you're talking about. And then you can tell a story, and then they're captivated.
Yep.
You're able to illustrate. I mean, you're not just saying I understand, but you're showing, and
Hmm.
you can give them details that will. Then they, in their own mind's eye, they see this thing unfolding, and they can see themselves coming out on the other side where the light of the tunnel is.
Yes.
So the stories are part of that as well. I know you were going to say that, but I'm just bringing it to the to the
Oh,
surface.
no, no, no. Yes, you're spot on. And with the questions part, I think it's also important to note, because there is rather a set list of questions that I do ask. Um, and it's interesting because the order in which those questions
Mm,
are asked is extremely important, right? You can't just kind of wing it.
yeah,
The order,
like a
it has
puzzle.
to follow a sequence, so that way you can drive the person to, the solution, which is you.
That's so good. Okay, so I want to do another thing here. Uh, you mentioned automation, which is
Yes.
of course extremely extremely important. It's part of what we do, you and I, and
Yep.
many of our listeners as well. And then for non-copywriters, if you're an entrepreneur, and you probably, I hope that you know the value of having it. And if you don't have automations in place, and there's multiple that you need, that you're thinking about doing that. But I want to ask you a question. We'll maybe dial it back for a second. I want
Okay.
to this question is a raw question. I haven't fully formed my thoughts around this, but I want to hear what you're thinking. So who knows what will happen with this question.
Yeah.
Automation is critical, it's important, and you can make it personal.
Yeah.
Um, with but is there a balance though with authenticity, especially, and I'm thinking about this in terms of, now we have AI and everybody's saying, okay, I can automate my systems by adding AI, and so a lot of these things are a little bit more automatically generated, but then also put into automations.
Hmm.
So where do you think the balance is between automation and authenticity? Do you have thoughts on that? I'm just
Oh,
formulating mine
that's a
now.
great question. So, I would say I think that most businesses that are using automation are losing that authentic touch. Because automation, while it's incredible. I mean, like you shared, I mean, this is definitely my wheelhouse of expertise, right? I love automation. I've been a certified expert with Entreport for 6 years now. So obviously, I love automation and we use it in our business all the time. Um, but I will say I do believe that authenticity oftentimes gets lost. And the way that it gets lost is because, in my opinion, business owners aren't really trying to connect with their target, I'm sorry, with their contacts in a deeper way.
Mm,
So usually with any sort of automation system, of course, again, I'm going to bring up Entreport as an example. With
sure.
Entreport as an example, you can create custom fields, right? These fields are, for example, first name, email address, things like that. One way that you can kind of create or bridge that gap between automation and authenticity is by creating custom fields that are relevant to your context. So, for example, if you are a pet grooming service, right?
Okay.
And you may want to create a custom field for that pet owner's pet name. So that way, when you're sending out an email, you can say, hi, first name and Sprinkles, or whatever the name of the pet, right?
As a winner
So,
instantly.
absolutely. And so, this is a way in which it makes it feel a little more personable. And, don't get me wrong, we don't want to insult people's intelligence. I think at this juncture, most consumers realize when they're receiving kind of like an automated thing, right? But it's just those little details that really make it feel just a bit more personable. And that's what I'm noticing as somebody who's in this industry. That is one of the key things I'm noticing that's missing, is that people are not, business owners, businesses are not optimizing their use of custom fields to personalize the messaging that much more. In addition to that, I would say I'm really big on using, other mediums. So text messaging now,
Yeah.
with the text messaging, you have to be careful because carriers are starting to clamp down because people have been abusing it.
Sure.
But I am really big on, texting, at least once a month or something like that. Very, not often. And so the text messaging piece kind of reinforces that connection between the customer or the contact and the company. And then even, this is a kind of like a lost art, if you will, or lost medium on most, but postcards.
Yeah.
You can automate the sending of postcard. Now, again, I don't know if this is for all software, CRM, customer relationship management software, but with Entreport, you can automate postcards. And so that's another thing that I like to tap into: postcards, ringless voicemail messages. Okay, if you're on my list, you may have received a ringless voicemail message from me on the first of this month for a huge announcement that Diane and I would get into.
Yeah.
And so, these are just some things, the little things that make a significant impact in driving that authenticity in your automation efforts. So, to be honest, the short answer to your question is I don't think most businesses are optimizing the use of their automation in a way to make it more authentic. And the way that they can do that are with those custom fields, starting there first, and then some
Yeah.
of those other mediums that I brought up just a moment ago.
I remember great points, by the way. I remember
Thank you.
somebody who it was a media buyer who I was working with,
Mhm,
and she has a dog or something. And she said, "You ain't not going to believe this." And she had ordered something from Chewy, I think, Chewy.com.
mhm.
And it was like a drawing, what looks like a hand drawing of her dog.
Oh,
And it
wow.
came with like the first order. Blown away. She said, "I'm a customer forever."
Yeah,
And guess what? They don't know your dog, but it
right.
feels like they do. And they
Mm,
made an effort to show you that they're going a little bit further than others and trying to build that connection. So I mean, that's not necessarily scalable for everybody. I don't have a
right.
person who can hand draw, and what would I hand draw? But those levels of attention to detail and connection to the deeper meanings, it's a great point. And I think the other thing that is true, and you're right, most entrepreneurs and even a lot of copywriters are maybe not thinking about automations as a box to check off. Okay, we got a welcome email. We
Yeah,
got the sequence set up, rather than thinking about using this first. I mean, that's just one example of the welcome sequence. Of course, there's multiple automations,
right.
but instead of looking to make that an experience,
Yeah,
that's actually a welcome. Like, now I feel like I'm invited into your world. I understand you better. I know what I'm going to get out of the experience we have together, and we're
right.
connected. We're just saying, okay, check, check, check. I got 3 emails, and there's an offer in there on day 5. And
Yep,
rather than looking for ways of connecting in an authentic way.
exactly. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Great
I was
questions.
writing down things as we were
No, we
talking.
did
That's
not
one of the things
rehearse
that was
this,
important.
okay? We did not rehearse this at all. So
Or plan or communicate in
no, we
advance.
didn't actually. Well, I think we jumped on this thing 5 minutes prior. So yeah.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Conrad
great
says
to
AI
make
can hand draw for it. I mean, that's a good point.
Yeah, Conrad, that's true. Yeah.
It would be hard to. I mean, that's not an automation thing, but I mean, you put it into the automation or into the workflow.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a great point. There's
Yeah.
little things that
But
will do
the
that.
hand
Your
drawing
dog
thing,
will have
I
6
have to tell
legs.
you how they did that. Look, my mind is blown. I don't even have a pet. I'm about to go buy some stuff from Chewy.
Yeah, this
That's
is.
crazy.
I said the same thing. I said, "Wow, that's."
Yeah, that's top notch.
Yep, and I mean, the business is doing well based on just little stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure the pet market is just a hot market, but
Yeah,
stuff like
definitely.
that puts you ahead of
Oh,
your
absolutely. Yeah,
competition.
absolutely.
Okay, I want to ask you this. Now, this is something you are familiar with. Tell us about the cute content strategy.
Ah, yes. Okay. So the cute content strategy, you all. So the word cute actually is an acronym. So the C stands for current news, the U for urgent news, the T for tips and advice, and then E for events. And so this is literally the strategy that I use when I'm writing content for email marketing. It's very common, and I think people think just because we write often, maybe we don't get writer's block, but I totally get writer's block. And so when I go into those, times where I literally just cannot think of like what direction I want to take a particular email in, I always lean on the Q content strategy, right? And out of those 4 strategies, I have to say that current news is my favorite because current news, this is something that people are already talking about.
Yeah.
And so all I'm doing is I'm going to relevant websites, for example, relevant Facebook groups, and I'm just sorting to see what are the trending articles on this blog? What are the, trending posts in this Facebook group? And so those are the things that I'm going to talk about, right? I'm going to focus on those things in this particular email because this is what is being talked about at mass scale already. My audience is already talking about it. So now I just get to come in and, share another perspective. And so, yeah, that's what the Q content strategy is. It's literally a framework that I've been using now for almost 20 years. I've been in this industry for almost 20 years, which I feel like I'm so dated when I say that.
It just means you started in kindergarten. That's all.
I know, please. But yeah, so it's literally a framework that I have been using, again, to write profitable copy, to launch those 6-figure email marketing campaigns, right? Like, this is what I use. It's the Q content strategy. When it comes to urgent news, just to kind of give you a quick overview of each one of the strategies. So urgent news is, if there's something happening in legislation, for example, or let's say that your company's database has been compromised and you're noticing that people, your contacts information may have been compromised in a hack or something like that. That's an example of urgent news. It's something that has an immediate and a direct impact or effect on your contacts.
Yeah.
That's what urgent news is. Tips and advice, I feel, is pretty self-explanatory, but tips and advice, let's say someone sends you a testimonial about a way in which your product or service has changed their life, right? What you can do is literally just repurpose it. Now, obviously, with their permission, if you're going to quote them, you need to get their permission. I just want to let y'all know, you got to get their permission. But even if you don't get their permission to share their name, just sharing their bits of their story and how your product or service has transformed them, that's a great way for you to use that same information, repurpose it, send an email to your contacts, letting them know, hey, look at how this affected this individual or this business. You could have the same effect too. If you would just go ahead and work with us, or if you're already working with us, are you experiencing this as well? And let's make sure that we can get you to that point, right?
Yeah.
And then last but not least, with events. So, people, I think, unfortunately, have a very limited mindset around what events, or understanding rather, around what events are. So we think events are just like this, us having our live or something like that. But an event can be whatever you want it to be. I may wake up tomorrow and say, you know what? I'm going to declare the month of April to be like the International Copywriters, Success Month, right? And so I'm going to literally start sending emails and promoting that, create my little hashtag, and like creating a whole energy and movement around this event. So an event is whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be what the government tells us is, right? For example, I celebrate Malcolm X's birthday every year, May 19th, every year, right? That's a holiday for me.
Yeah.
I'm not waiting on the government to affirm Malcolm X and all of that, right? I've already affirmed him in my life. And so every May 19th, I'll always make it a point to acknowledge him, to celebrate him. So an event is whatever you want it to be. So yeah, that's it. That's the Q content strategy. I love talking about that.
And rightly so. I mean, it's really, those are all incredible strategies and sources, right? For people, there are very respected copywriters who say writer's block doesn't exist.
Oh gosh.
News to me. It's news to me because, and I think sometimes the longer you write, the easier it is to get writer's block. Because haven't I said this 47 times?
Oh my gosh, seriously. Yeah. It's like, whoa, I feel like I've talked about this a million times already.
Yeah. So, and it's like, how do I say it differently? And the more well-versed you are in your industry, so how do I say it differently? Not only from what I've said, but staying consistent to what I've said, but different from what everyone else is saying.
Exactly.
That's valuable to my readers. And thinking about those things is a block. That's the block.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Crazy. The other thing that's writer's block, and this is off topic, but is, worrying about what people are going to say when they read it. Are people going to think this is good enough? Your clients or the clients' subscribers?
Oh boy, yeah.
What are they going to think? Are they going to criticize?
Yeah.
You got to get past that.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, I've been doing this again almost 20 years, right? I still get extremely nervous before an email goes to a client, before the email gets launched to the client's list. Even when I write emails to my list, I mean, I get nervous every time.
I do this here.
I know, right? I know. Seriously, you really do. You have to be like, okay, I'm pressing the button. It's going out. It's out. I can't.
It has to go, because if I think about this, it's not going anywhere.
No, seriously. I mean, like you said, I have this thing I always say to myself: whenever I feel a sense of fear or anxiety, that means there's something really awesome waiting on the other side. So, whenever I get that feeling, I just go for it, right? I just go for it because there's always, even if it doesn't go the way I anticipated, there's always a lesson on the other side of that. So, yeah, it's really cool, man.
Yeah. And Denzel Washington said the same thing. I think he was talking about acting. When he didn't say about writing, but he said, if you get on the stage, or get on the set and you don't have butterflies, it's time for you to hang it up. Okay. Right. Yeah. So I think that there's that's a powerful statement. Like, go for it. Otherwise, you're going to be stuck in mediocrity.
Yeah. It's going to become, debilitating. So, yeah.
So current news is cool because, like you said, there's a train that's already moving.
Yep.
But I have a unique take on it, or at least I'm going to have my take on it, and you get validation from me, or you get controversy from me, depending on what your persona is. I'm the person who shakes things up and says crazy off the wall things, or I'm the person who just gives you deeper insight into what everybody else is saying. Right. You pick your lane and you go down that lane. And then urgent news, of course, if somebody got, there's always a doggone data breach.
Always.
Did Verizon just have one or something like that? Bank of
I
America,
don't know. I've lost count at this.
So I was like, did you get hacked? I mean, that's not a great subject line necessarily anymore, but that news is something that, how to protect yourself. You pay attention to that. I was at a meeting downtown Chicago, 2017 maybe, and I get an email that says bomb threat at 10 South River Plaza, whatever it was.
Oh,
urgent news to me. Guess what?
Right.
Let's stop this meeting for a second. I don't care what's happening, because if there's a bomb, nothing else matters.
Right.
So anyway,
wow,
that sort of thing kind of grabs your attention.
Yeah, no, seriously. Yeah.
And events also, I love that. You get to make it's eventful because you said so.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't need someone's permission to create a holiday or, an event, a special occasion. You don't need, so.
Yes, very true.
Yep.
All right, so let's talk a little bit more. I only want to try to keep this within 1 hour, so we got a little bit of time.
Yeah, let's do that.
One thought about, because you were saying the cute content strategy is how you've been so successful at creating these 6-figure campaigns. Talk about your thought process and putting together, to whatever extent you want to get into this. Those kind of power-packed email campaigns.
Well, the biggest thing is always making sure, thank you, Samuel. The biggest thing is always making sure that the copy is aligned with the goal, right? So if the goal is to sell more of a product, if the goal is to get more subscribers, the first step is being crystal clear on that goal, because that goal is going to drive the direction of the copy. So that's the very first step. Crystal, clarity on the goal. The next step is also getting an understanding of where these contacts are coming from or where they came from, right? So this is where that automation comes into play. This is really, the cute content strategy is absolutely one of the components of building out that 6-figure email campaign. But that automation is also a very critical part of this, right? And the reason why you've got to get crystal clear on where these folks are coming from and where those who are already on your list, where they came from, is because now you can use segmentation. And segmentation is where you're able to craft a very tailored message to the audience. So that way they feel connected to you and what you're saying, right? And then last but not least, again, this is kind of going back to that whole goal, but being very crystal clear about that call to action. Every single email needs to have one specific and clear call to action that leads to that goal, right? That's going to push that contact to that end goal. And so you've got to be super crystal clear on that. Sometimes I'll read emails and it will, the email will have 4 or 5 things it's asking me to do. Guess what happens, Donnie? Guess what happens if you telling me to follow you on Twitter and then you want me to go and whitelist your email address, and then you want me to go and download this white paper, and then you want me to go and leave a review on Amazon? What happens?
The one thing I'm looking for is the unsubscribe link, because you asking me to work here.
Right. But no, that's true. It's you've got to give folks, it's not to say that you can't have more than one call to action. There are very rare occasions where I do have more than one call to action. So let me, clarify that. But generally speaking, like 98% of the emails I write, we got one call to action. I need you to do one thing. I'm going to keep your attention on this one thing. I don't need you to get distracted with trying to follow me on Facebook. I need you to go to that one thing, right? And so that is it. You've got to have that crystal clear call to action. It needs to ideally be one thing.
Yeah.
One.
I'm going to tell you, I hope my client does not hear this. I've complained about it, so it won't be news to them, but they'll be mad that I put it out there.
Okay.
They have that email. We're spending, God bless you, 10, I don't know the numbers. We spend a bunch of money on Google ads and Facebook ads and all, display networks everywhere. And we're bringing in people, and the first email, almost regardless of how you come in, and I love that you pointed out the source matters a lot.
Oh, that matters a lot.
It
Oh my
matters a
gosh.
lot.
Yeah.
But everyone gets basically the same thing. And in that first email, guess what? I'm glad you're here. Here's something about me. I wrote this book. I do this thing. I do this thing. And then there was like, you can, and then it was, seriously, ask 3 or 4 things to do
Oof.
in the first email. And we had a data scientist break some of this down. I don't think we asked him to do it, but he was doing what data scientists do.
Yeah.
And he showed us this chart, which is like, what's the last email? When do people fall off? People fall off after email 1.
Yeah.
And it was spiked here. The most popular email for people to unsubscribe or disengage from, they never read again, is after email 1. And that's why. Because you confuse them and you've made it all about yourself rather than what's in this for me. I came on this list for a particular reason. And this is in the financial space. So it's like, I'm really thinking about making money. And probably making money in a specific way.
Exactly.
You got a free report about how to make money on oil stocks, whatever. And now the first email I get is, I get the confirmation that says, here's your report. But the welcome email says, I'm such and such. I'm cool. I'm smart. I've done this. I've done that. Follow me on this. Subscribe to this. Check out this. And then tomorrow I'm going to send you some more stuff. I don't want any parts. And people unsubscribe or they disengage. It wasn't necessarily unsubscribe, but they stopped reading. Never read another email again. So this is problematic, but it's very common for people. Again, they're just checking out the box. I got a welcome email. What is your welcome email doing? It has to, as you said, understand the source and understand the destination.
Exactly.
Where are they coming from, and where do we need them? Where do we need to get them to?
Yeah. And thank you for that recap, Conrad. That was awesome.
I left it on the screen too long. Give my man too much. You ain't paying rent here, bro.
Oh gosh.
No, that's good though. And then I was trying to take notes earlier. You said something else. I was like, "Ooh, this is good." So we'll have to check the replay for the gem after gem. All right, cool. So I think we're getting close. You've got something really exciting going out, and I want people to get plugged into this incredible opportunity.
Yes, absolutely. So, when you asked me earlier what my team and I are working on, I intentionally left it out.
Right.
Because obviously I knew it was going to come up later on, but well, listen up. So if you are interested in learning how to launch 6-figure email marketing campaigns, whether for your business or for clients, I have, for the very first time, I've never done this. So for the very first time, I've actually launched a program in which over an 8-week period for 90 minutes, 1 day out of the week, I'm going to literally walk you through A to Z, every single step of the way, from writing the email, from attaining the leads and segmentation and all of that with automation. I'm literally going to walk you through every single step. And the name of that program is Crash Course to Cash. And the reason why I named it that, I think this is important to share too, because I haven't shared this publicly yet, but the reason why
I haven't heard it.
Okay, so the reason why I named it Crash Course to Cash is because it really is it's a crash course, right? We're doing something that has taken me years of fine-tuning and perfecting. We are doing this thing in 8 weeks, right? And so again, by the end of the program, you will have completed an email campaign, a 6-figure email campaign that is ready to go. So literally, we're taking you from A to Z through the entire process of launching a 6-figure email campaign. And again, this is whether you are doing this for a client or you're doing this for yourself. We're going from A to Z through the process. So this is the first time I've done this. And I'm excited. I'm super excited because I know that there is so much value that folks who are a part of this are going to get. And then there's a lot of value that I'm going to get too. I mean, like I shared earlier, you and me, we get on calls, we exchange information, we learn from one another. And so as much as I am a teacher, I'm also a student, right? I think that's important. So a lot of folks out here that claim to be experts and gurus, but they won't invest the time in learning from other people.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between me and everybody else, right? I'm spending the money. I'm going to pay for the conference tickets. I'm going to pay for the networking opportunities. I'm going to pay for the classes. I'm going to pay for the training because in my mind, a real expert knows in order to remain an expert, you have got to hone and fine tune your skills all the time. You
Yeah.
cannot get comfortable. So, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited.
This is unprecedented, really, because number one, again, you haven't done this before, and
No,
the high level clients that you work with, and everybody on this call would know some of them, a number of them. They would be like, "Oh, that was your email." Uh,
sure.
this has been reserved for them.
Yeah.
And not that you showed them how to do it, you just did it for them, right?
Right.
So in this case, you're opening the vault and letting people in to see the process behind multiple six-figure. I mean, time and time and time again in industry after industry, this stuff works. And
Yeah.
I mean, so you're gonna bring people in, and then also like not just give them here's how you do it, but like the process of how walking people through it. Here's a training. We're doing this together,
Right.
and it's going to be done. So not also how many of us have bought a course, maybe watched it, listened to it, and didn't do it, right?
Exactly.
This is
Yeah.
going to in 8 weeks after 8 weeks after it starts, you're going to be ready to hit that send button, but you won't be doing like we were doing and closing our eyes and doing it. You'll be feeling confident that this thing's going to
Right.
do what you designed for it to do, which is go out there and get money for
Exactly.
you or for your
Yeah.
client. And you'll be able to do it over and over again because you'll have learned.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
Rinse and repeat. Yeah. Yep. Very true. And you just said something else that I just realized I didn't mention. This isn't like your pre-recorded, course type thing, right? This is actually live.
yeah,
I forgot to mention that too. This is us, jumping on Zoom, and literally working this out over a period of 8 weeks. So I totally forgot to mention that. There are some foundational, courses that are in the portal and the login, the membership site, but the real teaching, the walking you from the A to the Z piece of this, all of that is live.
crash course. I mean, I like it. First of all, I mean, crash course to cash. A little bit of a tongue twister, but there's the rhyme in there, and then there's the alliteration in there. And who doesn't like cash, right? But
Oh
that's what
my
this does
God.
because there are people who play with email and they send little cute emails. And
Yep.
this is not a game. This is business, and this is
Yeah,
gonna take your business to another level.
exactly.
And consistency, as we were, I don't know if we mentioned it on this call or not, but it's really key.
Yeah.
So for those, and I know this, maybe nobody on this call at this second, but the people watching the replay, they know that they don't send as many emails as they should, and it's partially because they don't have the confidence to know that
Yep.
when I do this, it's gonna make me money. It's gonna build my authority. It's gonna make deeper connections. That even if someone doesn't buy on this go round, they're still gonna be tuned in because that's the other thing that people do. They burn out their list by doing crazy. If you don't
Yeah.
buy now, a fire is going to fall out of the sky and you'll probably die on Saturday. And it's not, nobody believes that. And now they don't like you for saying it and they don't trust you.
Right.
So to do this in a way that respects the subscribers and empowers the subscribers. So even if it's like, this is not necessarily for me this time, but
Right.
they're not going to fall off the list saying, I don't like this individual. I don't trust this individual. I can't get nothing out of this individual.
Right.
The opposite is true. They're going to be more engaged. They're going to be happy to continue reading your emails. And that's how you keep people around to buy again or to buy in the future, which is something that most people's email lists decline in quality is like backwards. It declines in quality over time for those reasons, because they're not respecting. They're not empowering. But when you do it this way, you're entertaining, empowering, and respecting, connecting with authenticity in a way that the quality goes up.
Exactly. Yeah. Very true. And one thing that I think is important to mention, this is more related to crash course to cash. And you know what? It's funny when you said it's a tongue twister. I realize alliteration is my thing. Okay. Like I'm
Alliteration is
here for
great.
alliteration. Opens, clicks, cash, crash course to cash. Like, I don't know. I just love alliteration. But anyway, I am super pumped to share that you and me have partnered on Crash Course to Cash. I think it's important that people know that.
This is exciting as well. It's
Yeah.
exciting, really exciting for me.
Yeah.
But let me say this: alliteration is one of those like subtle delights when you hear it. The human mind gets a little bit of pleasure out of it.
So true.
And so then it's like, I like listening to this person. I like reading what this person has to say. And again, that's the secondary benefit that comes. Even if they don't buy, I know that I'm going to get a little bit of pleasure from reading, or maybe a lot, but I mean, at least a little bit that comes from those little nuances.
Very true.
So, I mean, putting that in the name is, it's just fun to say. It's fun to think about.
Oh, right.
With this offer, which is unbelievable in and of itself. But in order to spice it up a little bit, I'm partnering. Well, Maria and I are partnering. As part of this offer, I'm off. You'll be able to get at no additional cost, my Inbox X Factor course, which is not right now not available for sale anyplace. I'm not selling it anywhere. There's a handful of people who have access to it, but I'm not selling it anyplace. I'm not sure when I'm going to put it on the market for real. But this is going to give the additional ideas, because one of my strategies as well for coming up with email ideas is using events, using like things that are on the calendar, things that are from days of history and stuff like that. And so in the Inbox X Factor training, we have video trainings that about storytelling, about using news interest, like turning news stories, like not just what the news stories are, but how to take a news story and make it interesting. And how to start an email so that people want to read the whole email. Because we've all done that too. You open an email, you read 2 paragraphs, and you say, Not so Maria's got all this, but I have my own addition to it. And then one of the big things is there's 365 days worth of email ideas. And there's 2 ideas at least per day. So
that's amazing.
If you ever have writer's block, you can go in here and say, what's today? It's March 10th. What should I write about on March 10th? And it'll say, I didn't look at it today. And it'll say, talk about this. And that'll give you a prompt. So like you prompt Chat GPT or the AI, or you can prompt your own mind with these ideas and inspiration. Or also, I mean, you can put it in your AI platform of your choice and begin to play with it and see what the AI gives you. So there's that, and then also there's 100+ subject lines. So if you ever get stuck on subject lines, now I have you may have seen these. Some of you may have seen them. I have 101 subject line of the day videos on YouTube, but these are not the same. Some of them, there's some overlap, but there's probably like 80 more subject line ideas that and they're templates. So it'll tell you how you can, like with blanks, just swap in your own words. And now it's your subject line for you to use however you see fit.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So subject lines, 365 days worth of ideas. And then I think there's 10 video modules showing different aspects of how, I have one on how to write a welcome sequence. Different aspects to help you make more money and send more emails and make money. So this is included in Crash Course to Cash at no additional charge. Up and through. Now, this is important to mention. This is only open until March 31st.
Absolutely.
You will not be able to buy, at least not for now, and not at the unbelievable price that Maria is about to tell you about. You won't be able to. You'll never get at this inexpensive investment ever again. Yeah, and probably Inbox X Factor won't be included next time. This is part of the inaugural launch.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. So again, thank you, Donnie, for even, partnering with us on this. I'm always super delighted and excited to work with you. So pumped up about that. But yeah, as Donnie mentioned, can I get a drum roll, Donnie? So we can talk about. All right, perfect. Ting. All right.
I missed my hi-hat.
Okay, so all of these things that Donnie and myself, talked about for one rate. It's not like some sort of monthly subscription or anything like that. You can get started right now for $75. If you choose the payment plan, $75. If you want to pay outright, it's $297. Again, one-time fee. You will get lifetime access to that foundational information that I talked about inside the membership portal, the prosperity portal. But one-time fee, You can get started right now. If you need a payment plan, it's totally fine. You can get started right now at $75.
It's
And
unbelievable.
Donnie, I don't know how you can share the link in the chat. I'm not sure how it works, but
I should have had the links. I'll go find it.
I
But
think
yes,
but yeah, so
if you think about it, $297. Could somebody hire you to write one email for them for $297?
No. Seriously, no.
No, they couldn't do it. And,
not at all.
And this, all right, cool. You are amazing.
Thank you.
Because I'm like, I don't even know where I left that thing. Hold up. All right, but yes, it'd be impossible to get this level of instruction, of connection, of personal development and thinking, how to think about selling through email. And actually, it applies to anything that you want to use it for. But you're not gonna be able to get this. And again, it's not just a one-time thing. You're not gonna, like if Maria did write you an email and it probably cost you $1,000. You got it one time, you can use it as many times as you want, but it's just one email. This is going to teach you, you're going to get a campaign, a 6-figure campaign, which of course we can't guarantee how much you'll make. There's a lot of factors in that. But this is the kind of email that can go out and make 6 figures or multiple 6. And you'll know how to do it. So you can do it for yourself over and over again, once a quarter, whatever. Or you can do it for clients.
Yep.
So, I mean, for $297, I mean, you should be paying $297 to be on this call right now. Or to your point, if you need a payment plan, you can start for $75.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, $75, I think, come on now. And 14-day money back guarantee. So there's that too.
14-day money back guarantee. So there's no risk whatsoever.
Yeah, there's no risk. If you jump in there, you look at the foundational content, decide, then, yeah, no, that's true. A Crafty Hands Club magazine. I would love that. That's less than $40 a week. True. Thank you for doing the math. It's funny. I always tell people, hey, I'm a copywriter. Okay. I'm not a mathematician. I am horrible when it comes to math. Horrible. So Crafty Hands Club magazine. Thank you for that.
Yes. And I say, because I'm not bad with the numbers, but I say I'm not a copy speller. So when I get when there's typos in my draft, I'm not a copy speller.
Yeah,
I can spell, but I mean, I don't always hit the spell check before I send it over.
Yeah.
Anyway, so $297, unbelievable price, but it's $40 per week in terms of the live training. You get lifetime access to the foundational content. If you get Inbox X Factor, that's yours for life as well.
Yeah,
I used to charge between, it was depending on when you got in, it's $49 to $99 a month for that.
Wow.
When I roll it out I was doing some other stuff, but when I roll it out in the future, it will probably be $197 or $297 by itself. So it'd be like buying Inbox X Factor from me and getting a crash course to cash for free, or like what Maria's, how it's positioned properly. You're getting twice the value, which is already like more value than what's being charged, what the investment is. But like you're doubling up.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I think I said this early on, but you are actually learning a life skill, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like you're going to do this thing, you're going to do it one time, and then there's no use for it beyond that moment, right? When you ended on week 8. This is a lifelong process. This is a lifelong and life-changing skill.
Yes.
And so again, you all are getting something that I have been able to work on and to perfect for almost 2 decades. And so you're going to learn this in 8 weeks and for a fraction of the cost, right? As I shared with Donnie and Will, as I share with all of you, every single year, we're investing thousands of dollars. And when I say we, I'm saying the company, and as a team, we're investing thousands of dollars in our skill set. So yes, I'm deemed an expert. Y'all may see, I've written the book, shout out to Words Are Wealth. you may see all of these things, right? Hey, that's what I'm talking about, Daddy. Look, y'all make sure y'all read that quote on chapter 14 of Words Are Wealth. Yes, great quote. Dunny is quoted there, by the way. But no, seriously, we're investing thousands every year, right? Every single year, we're investing thousands of dollars to hone our craft and to get better at what we do so that we can be a better service to our clients and, of course, to our business as well. But you guys are getting all of that knowledge for a fraction of the cost. And the thing is, like, we're actually going to be in Vegas for an email marketing conference in April, and the live sessions kick off in April. And it's crazy because we're going to be fresh off of an international email marketing conference.
Yeah.
And we can bring all of that into our sessions, right? So again, we've spent, we're spending thousands to be there, Dunny. We're going to be there we're spending thousands of dollars, probably $5,000 or $6,000 total. But you all are just going to pay just a fraction of the cost to get the same information that we're going to get at this international email marketing conference, plus, of course, all the experience too. So, yes, man, we gotta. Hey, this is it. This is the year. A lot of people have been dissuaded by the economic uncertainty and the proliferation of AI technology and all of these things, but there's a mountain of opportunity in all of this. There's a mountain of opportunity if you're just willing to take the risk and invest in yourself and invest in learning this skill, something that can be rinsed and repeated over and over and over again. So I'm pumped up. As y'all can see, I'm excited.
Listen, she got so excited. She said people have been dissuaded by the proliferation. That's a big word. She's bringing out the big words, which normally Maria keeps it, that's copywriters we train on speaking very clear, very regular language. She said proliferation. Yeah. How you know she's serious? I'm gonna do two things really quickly. Number one, I'm gonna spoil the book. The quote that you mentioned, I don't know if you can read it. Where's my camera at? You can't read it. It says, if you read one copywriting book, just one, you're already in the upper echelons of human beings.
Yep.
First of all, if you buy this book, that's true. But if you take this course, imagine that. You're going beyond the book, because you're gonna learn everything you learn in this book. Plus implementation, plus hands-on training, plus being in a room with someone who just Las Vegas MailCon. So Conrad's in Vegas. Y'all link up down there.
Oh, nice.
Might be at the event.
We can link for sure.
Then, which is $5,000 of investment. You're getting it for $297.
Exactly. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
The other thing I wanted to say, and I'm glad you brought this back up, is the economy. People are dissuaded by the economy, but like you started to say earlier, this is not the time for you to get scared by it. Because if you say the economy is bad, let me not market. How is anybody going to find you at all?
Yeah.
This is when you need to be doing more. And this is when you need to take, because everybody else is being scared. This is when you need to take market share from them, or you need to take share of voice from them. They're the ones they're pulling back and being scary, and you get to step up and be the courageous leader and the person who stand, because the people who need you still need you.
Exactly.
They maybe need you more.
Yep.
Because they're having a hard time. Everyone's having a hard time. In terms of every category of people is having a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
And so they need your services as much as ever, or more than ever, because times are harder. And nobody else wants to help them. Well, not that they don't want to help. They don't want to market and get the word out. This is your chance to do that. Step in there, eat up everyone else's lunch. And then when times come back, who's the monster in the room now?
Exactly. Yeah.
And so this is the time. This is the time to invest. This is the time to go hard. This is the time to level your skills up as high as you can get them, because the opportunity to scale from here it's like never before. I don't want to say never before, but it's been a long time since there's been an opportunity like this right now.
Yeah.
So Crash Course to Cash. There's a link right there.
Yep.
You're gonna want to get this. I don't know what else to say.
Well, Donnie, you brought up something. I see that Crafty Hands Club magazine raised the question about the registration. When does it close? It's March 31st. 11:09 Central. And the thing is, excuse me, you all, you've probably seen instances where businesses will say, oh, this is the deadline. And then, 2 days later, it's like, oh, we just extended the deadline. No, there won't be an extension. I'm not extending the deadline. I promise you, this is the real deadline. And in fact, to hold myself accountable to that, you'll notice that there is a timer on that website that Donnie shared. There's a timer. Once that thing goes to April 1st at midnight, right? That page is no more. That page is no more. So, even if I wanted to extend the deadline, it's not, I would have to create a whole new page, which, we just don't have the capacity at this moment. We're busy. So yeah, March 31st is the deadline, and it is the absolute deadline. And so one thing I wanted to say, Donnie, thank you, Shamika. One thing I wanted to say, as it relates to, because you mentioned, some companies are scaling back, right?
Yep.
So the thing is, I know that and we talked about this before we went live, there are major corporations that are laying off thousands of people, literally laying folks off in droves. And so, like Donnie said, while everyone else is kind of retreating and they're like squeezing they're holding their money tight, their fists, they're trying to keep that money. This is a perfect opportunity for you to show up. And the beautiful thing about email marketing is that it's so inexpensive. It is literally so inexpensive. The barrier to entry is so low. We're not saying you have to go and spend 4 figures like you probably will see any real results with your ad campaigns, right? With your paid ads, right? Email marketing is so inexpensive, and it actually has the highest return on investment than any other digital medium that there is, right? For every $1 you spend on email marketing, you can expect to receive on average at least $36 in return. So that's what makes this thing so special. It's the reason why I started with email marketing, because in my experience as a copywriter, and again, somebody who's been in the space for almost 2 decades now, I can tell you there are so many other ways that we can make money in the space. That's why it's called Crash Course to Cash, right? Not Crash Course to Cash with email marketing, because this thing is being built out and it's progressively being built out. But I'm starting with email marketing because it is arguably the least expensive way that you can get in at a very low cost and get a high return on investment. So low risk, high reward, right? That's what email marketing is. Some of the other stuff that we're going to talk about down the line, like for example, SEO blogs and things like that. These are things that I've done. Those things are great. You can make a ton of money with SEO blogs, but it's going to be a lot of money up front, a lot of capital that you've got to invest up front. With email, it's just not like that. So that's exactly why we're starting with email. And this is a perfect time while the economy is a little, it's a little, not really sure what direction it's going to go in. While all these companies are cutting back and they're clenching their fists with their money in there because they don't want to spend money on marketing, this is a perfect opportunity for you to show up in that inbox because everybody else is scaling back. So honestly, I feel like, Donnie, this is the time for the underdogs, right? This is the underdog season when you come up and you show up and you can outshine all those, Fortune 500 companies with a bottomless budget. Now you can show up in their absence. So yeah, man, like you said, this is a very unique time. It really is.
The other thing that's interesting about that, if you happen to be one of the people who has been laid off or downscaled, maybe what was a full-time job is now, they put you down to 2-3 days. This is an opportunity for you to establish yourself in a very in-demand field. As a copywriter. So I mean, the growth in our space has been, I've never seen it grow as fast as it is now. But I was just talking with someone the other day. There's absolutely no limit to the number of copywriters that this earth needs. And even with AI, even with Chat GPT and the likes, human copywriters are still going to be important for the foreseeable future. That's how I think that GPT-4 is coming out next week. Cool. But you know what also, if you ask some technologists, I mean, it's going to have updates it's going to have more junk in it too. It's going to have more potential hallucinations is what they call it, or it just makes up stuff or it gives you falsehoods. We still need humans who know how to use the AI, because your clients don't want to learn how to use AI. They don't. They don't want to learn how to write copy. They don't want to learn how to use AI. So if you learn how to use AI, you're going to, even if, AI, but they don't want to learn how to use it. Most of them don't. So you're going to have that as an advantage. If you know how to use it, you can use it for yourself. You can use it for your clients. But also, AI can't do everything. Even with GPT-4, it's not a storytelling machine.
Yeah.
It's not a strategic machine. Because here's the other thing that's true. I'm going off on a tangent. I want you to buy this. I want you to sign up for this right now. But I was, this was last week, and there's a all hands meeting at Google. I have a friend at Google.
Nice.
And everyone come in. We got to talk about this because their AI thing is a little bit weird. But anyway, one of the points that came up was these are large language models, but they're not knowledge, they're not knowledge models.
Yeah.
They don't know anything.
Sense.
So what they can do is put language together, but they can't know anything, and they can't create newness. And so that's what creative people, artists, because it's making art, but artists are going to be able to push the envelope in a way that AI can't do it.
Exactly.
And writers, we're going to be able to write things that have never been written before, connect ideas that have never been connected before. AI can't do it, and it can't know what it's talking about. It can't know your audience, and it says that it does, because you'll say, "Hey, look, tell me what the day in the life of an accountant who's 35 and has 3 kids," and it'll give you a list of things. It's guessing. It's only guessing because it can't know. You can know because you can talk to accountants. You can talk to those people. You can get data from the list. You can get data from communication with people who are in that market. So copywriting is not going away. I don't think it's shrinking. I think it's growing. And so for the people who are fear mongering about this, I think they're wrong. If you have if you have very basic skills, you might be in trouble. If you get skills like this, I can create a 6-figure campaign. I don't care how comfortable a client feels with AI. You're not going to say ChatGPT is going to make me a 6-figure campaign. Nobody feels that way. They just feel like this can take some things off my plate so I can move faster. They don't have confidence, and they shouldn't, because it doesn't work that way. It doesn't know how to make a strategy that's actually strategic. Right. Together like that in a way that makes sense. So anyway, I'm rambling to say AI is an opportunity as well.
Yeah.
The field is growing. People are holding the money like this, and they're scared. So there's opportunities opening, and AI is your friend if you know how to use it. So this is the time. But this is how you get the edge. Getting quality, 20 years worth of education, culminating, but no, I say culminating, it's not. Maria is continuing to be on the cutting edge of the technology, of the art, of the market, of the technology. And you get all that for $297. Come on now.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. But hey,
if you got $297, it's a no-brainer. If you don't, but you got $75, it's still a no-brainer, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
And again, you said there's a 14-day money-back guarantee. So if you get in there and say, you're not going to say this, but I mean, if you felt like, I don't know about this, okay, all right, then you can just ask for your money back. You're not going to get any hassle about it.
No, not at all. No. We're not trying to keep you $75 or get $297 for that matter either. One thing I wanted to touch on, and look, you know how we do, Donnie. What's up, Tiger? What's up, Tiger? My guy. We can stay on this call for 2 hours. So you let me know when we need to. You want me to wrap it up in what, 2 minutes or something?
We could probably do it for. I got lunch date, hot lunch date with a very beautiful woman.
Okay.
So, yeah, I told wife we're gonna do lunch.
I love it. That's dope.
Yeah.
What you
thinking? 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes.
No, we don't have to cut it shorter than that.
Okay. So, on the AI piece, right? So we actually talk about AI in Crash Course to Cash, right?
See?
We talk about AI because the thing is, you got to respect the tech.
Yeah.
It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Right. So respect the tech. But at the same time, like Donnie said, the tech does not at this juncture. Maybe this will change in, some years, but at this juncture, the tech does not know how to communicate in a human way like
Right.
human beings do, right?
Right.
The tech is only as good as what the human puts into the tech. If
Yeah.
you start off wrong with the technology, the output is gonna be bad, right?
Yeah.
So the input is really important. And so we do talk about that. But going back to what you were saying, Donnie, in terms of the fear mongering, I always have to remind people, first of all, if we're being honest with ourselves, this technology has been around for a long time.
That's a fact.
And I'm going to let you know what I mean by that. Have you noticed when you are sending a text message in your phone will do some predicting, some
Yeah.
predictive text based on the nature of the conversation? That's a form of artificial intelligence, is it not?
It's literally the same technology.
Yeah. So we've already been engaging. If you all use Google Docs, which I live on that platform, you may notice as you're typing a sentence, what is Google Doc doing? Now it is suggesting the next words to come. Sometimes it suggests the rest of the sentence
Yep.
based on context, right?
Yep.
If you use Gmail to send emails, right? You're in correspondence with somebody. Now, mass emails, y'all cut that out. But if you're using Gmail to send a one-to-one or one-to-a-few communication, you may notice as you're typing, Gmail is suggesting a way to end that sentence, or it may even suggest an entire sentence for you.
Yep.
So my point is, the technology exists in the same way that, Donnie may know how to change the oil in his vehicles.
He doesn't.
Okay, well, all right, I'll use a different one. Donnie may know how to cook a burger. You know how to cook a burger, Donnie?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay, done.
I can grill a burger. Yes.
Okay, all right. Donnie knows how to grill a burger, but does that stop him from going to Burger King to have it his way? Flame broiled burger. Is that stopping you?
I spent $297 on McDonald's last month.
Ooh.
I'm just saying $297. I could have bought Crash Course the Cash
Right.
instead of McDonald's burgers, and McDonald's don't even have good burgers.
Is that? Oh, no, they don't. They fell off a long time ago. But my point is, just because you can do something doesn't mean that you will or that you should.
Exactly.
Right? And so just because we have this technology, it does not mean that people are going to run to learn it. It's still technology, and there is a segment of the population who has an aversion to technology. So those folks are always going to rely on people like Donnie and myself because they don't want to deal with the technology. And then there are some folks who they don't mind the technology, but they just don't want to. They don't have the time. They don't want to give the time to learn an AI. They would rather pay, again, somebody like Donnie and myself to do it for them. So, this is, like I said, this is a life-changing skill set.
True.
And it's rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
So after that 8th week, it's something that you can always go back and fine tune. If you're on the copywriter side of this, you're saying to yourself, okay, well, how does this relate to me? You can rinse, repeat this, sell it to clients over and over again.
Yeah.
Right. And so now you've got a system that you can take. And when you're having that conversation with a lead, you can say, hey, this is what I built for my clients. These are some of the results. This is something that you can repeat over and over and over again. And guess what happens? You become more efficient with it. Yep. The more you do it, the faster you can do it, right? Yep. And that matters. And so, yeah, man, y'all go ahead and go to that link. Where's that link done?
I mean, it's so true. People ask me all the time, and I have various answers for different people, but someone says, well, I'm about to pitch this. What should I pitch? Well, first of all, you need to listen, which is what Maria said in the beginning. You need to listen before you pitch.
Yeah.
But imagine having the confidence to say, I'm going to go into a conversation with a prospect, and I know I can do 6-figure email campaigns. I know it. Then you can say, I know exactly. Well, how does that work? And you can tell them how it works. You don't tell them everything, but you tell them what exactly. You give them the demonstration of knowledge.
Yeah.
It's how I set it, structured, how I set it up. I can handle all that for you. you have the confidence, and confidence changes the whole conversation. You get somebody like, I'd love to work, and I'm now exaggerating, but I'd love to work for you. Whatever you need to do, I'll do whatever I got to do. I've done that before. I'll do whatever it takes to get this job, and then they don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah,
like this person is thirsty, and thirsty people are not attractive.
No, not at all. Unless they're talking to another thirsty.
Right, and then it's all ugly.
Yeah,
a whole bunch of
exactly.
But if you could go in and say, here's how I would recommend handling that, and with confidence say, I would do an 8 week, or I'd do a 12 message. Use however you want to do it. With doing from this to this, or here's the goal. Here's what we can kind of expect. Here's the time frame I can do that in, and I can do it. If you work with Entreport, perfect. I can get it. I know how to work with that thing. I can go in there, set it up for you. All of that.
Yep.
There's no like wavering. There's no sense that I'm hoping that you say yes to me, because I know what I can do. And the question is, are you going to benefit from me, or is your competitor going to benefit from me? One of y'all is going to be lucky enough to work with me. I'm just wondering if you're going to be the one, or the other one is going to be the one.
Exactly.
So it absolutely changes things to have the confidence in the knowledge that you get from this training. And I mean, if you're just starting as a copywriter, or if you're established but you just you need to get some traction, either way you're going to benefit from this. And if you're not a copywriter, you can use it in your own business.
Yeah, exactly. So Donnie, could you pull up that link again so our good people can see? I am curious to know if there are any questions. If anybody,
we should have asked if there was questions.
No, it's not. I mean, we've talked about a lot. We talked about a lot. So we talked about the art of persuasion. We talked about automation. We talked about obviously Crash Course to Cash, the 6-figure method for email marketing and stuff like that. So I am curious to know if there are any questions.
We'll open the floor.
We've covered quite a bit here. This has been fun as usual. I didn't expect anything
less. Here's what's going to be really interesting, and I'm not going to say it because I don't want to diffuse what's happening here. If y'all have questions, you got a limited time, because I'm going to shut this off in about 6 or 7 minutes. So you can ask the question and have a chance to get a real unfiltered answer. You can see we're talking about what I don't know how to do to my car. And Maria's like, I'm trying to make a point. Let me make a point. Donnie, you always mess up my points. Sorry.
Oh gosh.
It's literally, I was having this conversation at 1:00 last night. I don't change my own oil. Why would I do that?
Yeah, no.
And there's clients, there's business owners like, I don't write my own emails. Why would I do that?
Yeah, seriously. And I think that it's important for everyone to at least know and understand what good copy sounds like, right? So even if you're not going to do it, which I respect, that's fine. If that's not, you're probably saying this is not my wheelhouse of expertise. I have no interest. I know it's important, but I have no interest in learning this. Well, I will push back on that a little bit and say that in order for you to know if you do work with a copywriter, if you decide to hire AI in its place, you have got to know what looks good and what sounds good. You've got to know that. Okay, talk more about the networking, which sounds juicy. Shamika, what are you referring to? I want to make sure that we're crystal clear.
We answer the correct question. I mean, it is true. The other thing that I think is true, this is about email marketing, but as you said before, the principles kind of extend into communication in general. And this is just the front end of all of the individual aspects that you'll be teaching on.
Yeah.
All right. On the sales page, and it talks about networking. Oh, so she's reading the sales page.
Oh, yes. Well, first of all, thank you for checking it out. That's awesome. So in terms of networking, just networking with, of course, myself and my team, as well as networking with other folks in the program. Because if you think about it, folks who sign up for this, these are people who are they're innovators, in my opinion, right?
Yeah.
These are not the people who are sitting back and being debilitated or paralyzed by fear. These are people who they're action takers, they're move makers, right? And so that is what I'm referring to when we talk about the networking. Again, just not only, with my team, but also just everyone else that's a part of the program as well. So yeah, thank you for that question, Shamika, and for clarifying too.
I mean, it's a great point, right? If you're getting on a Zoom 8 weeks, you get to know
Yeah,
some people, you know what they're about, and then I know a handful of other people who know the skill. So if I
exactly.
have two potential clients at the same time and I can only do one,
Exactly.
who's the first person I'm going to outsource that other job to, or make a recommendation to?
Yeah.
Somebody who I connected with in the Zoom. So
Yeah.
uh, that's valuable, and then you'll probably be friends for life anyway.
Yeah. And people, I don't think folks understand, what you just brought up, Donnie, in terms of the whole outsourcing, how even you and me, right?
Yeah.
How you have referred copy clients to me, right? And so we have that partnership as well. So, people, it's very important. The networking piece I'm really big on, not only just in my own life, but for me in this program, that has to be a very integral part of it, part of your success in the program, because networking is everything. When people
Yeah.
say your network is your net worth, that's the truth. It really is. And I've seen this and experienced this over and over again. It's just true. So Shamika, thank you for that question. It was a great question. And I hope that, you have more clarity now that we've explained.
Definitely a great question, and it's a great point.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know until afterwards. But if you found yourself struggling for a period of time, and then you see how other people are doing much better than I am, in many cases, it's because they know people that you don't know.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
you begin to tap into people and you find out, I've been missing out on all kinds of things. People who can help you, people who you can help. Because when you help other people, guess what? It benefits you too. But also
Very.
people who can introduce you to people who can share ideas with you, people who can encourage you. And like, okay, for example, like even if you and somebody else in this training has the exact same skill, but you have different markets. I
Mm-hmm.
want to talk to those dog owners. I
Mm,
want to talk to automobile people, or talk to financial marketers, or talk to make money online people. You're going to meet people who want to do those things, and you get to know who does those things. So
mm-hmm.
then it's like a virtuous cycle. Everyone helps everyone, and then the rising tide lifts all the ships.
Yeah.
And that's foundational, as you said, for you and I. It just makes your life better too. Because being a copywriter,
Definitely.
you need a network.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, it's been many a times that you and me, we've had an opportunity to bounce ideas off of each other, even encourage each other, because
Yes.
business is business.
Yeah.
It's not
And this
always.
wanting to strangle people thing,
Oh boy, whew, gracious. We ain't gonna get on that, but
no,
yeah,
we shouldn't get on that. But I mean, Maria can say, Donnie, don't do it.
yeah, yeah,
And I'll
yeah.
be like, you know what, Maria, you're right. I'm not going to jail today because I got a lunch date. I can't go to jail.
I know, right? Seriously.
But
So I
it's
see one
valuable. It's
comment.
profitable and it's valuable. But really, like you see Jay-Z hanging out with Warren Buffett. What's that about?
Right,
You
right.
see Warren Buffett hanging out with Bill Gates. These are all billionaires we're talking about. You don't become a billionaire by accident, and you don't become a
Exactly.
billionaire by yourself.
Yeah.
Maybe
You
Sam Altman, but for the most part, these people are connecting with other people, because you can't. President Obama said it. You didn't build that by yourself. You didn't build these roads,
no.
but you can go connect with people who have roads. You can go connect with people who have infrastructure, who have networks of their own, and you plug into their network, and you got a network instantly. At least you got a part of a network, and
Exactly.
it's just the most successful people in the world have networks. And those of us who think we're lone wolves and I don't need anybody, you find out later in life, you wasted a lot of time on a false belief that this rugged individualism was right for you. I mean, it feels good sometimes, and you want to be able to say, I did this on my own, but you're working harder than you need to.
Yeah. I don't believe in the whole like self-made millionaire thing. I've never
It's not a
had.
thing. It's not a
I think
thing.
it's ridiculous when people say that. But I do see a comment here that says I have no network whatsoever. Let's change that. Let's change that. You are literally one click away. You are one click away from changing that. Let's change it.
Yeah, it's true.
It's interesting how few people realize that all it takes is a decision
Mm,
to change the trajectory of your life, right? I think, excuse me, and this is no, oftentimes when things don't go our way, you'll hear people attribute it to a higher power. You may hear people attribute it to, someone else blocking them or hating on them. But the reality is, it really is just a decision.
yeah.
There's this thing I love to quote where it talks about choosing your hard.
Mm,
And so I'm just going to paraphrase because I can't remember it word for word. But it says something like obesity is hard, staying fit is hard, choose your hard.
mm,
Marriage is hard, being single is hard, choose your hard. Being an entrepreneur is hard. Working for someone else is hard. Choose your hard, right?
yeah.
So, what I'm going to, implore those of you who are watching or encourage those of you who are watching, whether you're watching it in the replay or you're watching it now, is you've got to choose your hard, right? And you want to either try to keep figuring this thing out on your own, and that's hard, or get some help, get with some like-minded individuals, and build this thing with a community, right? It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. I'm not going to lie to you. We got to do the work. We have to do the work though.
Yeah.
Right? We have to do the work. So, yeah, choose it. Choose your heart. Which heart do you want?
Yeah.
And work with both Maria and Dunny. All I can say is life changing. Thank you, Tiger. Thank you so much.
Salute. Yeah. I mean, I Tiger Toledo's game changing.
Yeah.
All by himself. So, but
Yeah.
I mean, Tiger's in the network as well, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
All the time. The people you know make all the difference.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm gonna say something else that's just different. Like if you do this, then you become more valuable to your network. And that's something crazy. But I'm not saying you're the bottom person in your network, but you can, I wouldn't want to be the least valuable person in my network. Somebody's always saying you should be the dumbest person in the room. Somebody's got to be the dumbest, right? Somebody has to. Or they say you shouldn't be the smartest person in the room. You should be in a room where everybody's smarter than you. But
right.
Somebody's got to be the smartest. And it might as well be you. That's what I say. You might as well be you. Like you can be in a room with smart people. Just don't be in a room full of dumb people.
Yeah.
And if you doing something like this, any investment in yourself is going to level up your value to the world.
Yeah.
It does start with making a decision. But guess what? If you don't decide, you've decided. You decide you're going to do it by yourself.
Yeah.
You're going to keep doing what you've been doing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get into the pressure thing because that's not what it is. But if what you've been doing is working, then do it. And if you're ready to do something else, you have to make a different choice. You have to.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So I guess look, that goes back to what we said. We're the no pressure sales people, right? Hey, no pressure. I mean, if you decide this is not for you, hey, I mean, what can we do? I'm just gonna respect it. But
it's all good, right? I I think this is one of the most valuable things I've seen in years. I mean, honestly, and the opportunity now to take advantage of what you will learn here is unprecedented, literally unprecedented. I'm telling the truth. I spent a long time struggling, and I wish I had somebody who could. And for this price, are you serious? Because when I was starting out, I couldn't afford a doggone thing. So I get it. If you can't, then you can't. But if I could have gotten some hands-on from a 20-year expert assistance in structuring what could be the future of my career, it would have sped me up by 10 years probably.
Man, who are you telling? Who are you? I get mad thinking about it now.
I'm telling. I can't think about it because I'll get depressed.
Yeah.
I should be at least 5 or 6 years ahead of where I am. Yeah. And then the other thing that's true, this is not pressure, I promise, but the fear of spending the money held me back too, because there's times when I spent money that could have been an investment in my skills. And if this is going to be my life, which I've made, it's a great life. If I had invested a little bit more, a little bit earlier, I could have gotten to the good stuff a little faster. And I was just scared, like, how do I explain trying to spend $500 on this? Like, but you explain by saying I'm building a career and building a life, and it will work. Because the other thing that's true about me is how do I explain staying up all night instead of getting in bed next to my wife? Because for a long time, she's like, when are you going to come to bed? I wish I could, but I can't.
Yes.
That was a choice. And for a while, it felt like the wrong one because she wasn't happy with me because I wasn't able to give her the attention she deserved. I wasn't able to give but the same thing was true when I was in corporate. But anyway, now, and we got the 40-foot pool in the backyard. May 1st. Y'all want to come through? It's 20,000 gallons. It's a big pool. So anyway, that's a little flex.
Awesome. No, I love it.
But it's not about the pool. It's about the fact that my kids get to have what I always wanted to have, and I got to give it to them. I didn't have to ask somebody else for it.
Yeah.
So that's all. You make a decision. You're gonna choose your heart. That was my heart. I'm gonna stay up. But my another part of my heart could have been choosing to invest in some things. It would have been an uncomfortable investment, maybe for me at that time.
Yeah.
But if I could have shaved even 1 year off, it would have easily been worth $500,000 or $500,000. I just didn't have the guts to do it. So anyway, that's not pressure. That's just been telling my story.
Yeah. No, thank you for sharing that. That's deep. I think a lot of us can relate to that, to your story. Yeah. It's crazy. I'm just thinking everything you said. I'm like, man, that's so wild. I've literally gone through the same thing. Yeah. So I just read, oh yeah. Oh, we have another comment. Okay, choose your heart is a great analogy though. Thank you for that. Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. It changed my life, to be honest. When I saw it on social media, I was like, oh my gosh, and I wish I knew who wrote it. Because they need to get the credit. That's some life-changing knowledge. Like literally when I read it, I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, we just got to choose our heart.
Yep. We got to get out of here in a minute. I'm gonna say something related. It's related, so I'm not to detract, because choose your heart is exactly true. I can't remember who sends it. There's an email I get like every so often.
Nice.
There's a quote that says, there's a coach, a swimming coach, and it said, when you come to work out here, you're either gonna be, sore, or you're gonna be miserable, right? In 60 minutes, you're gonna feel the same, but choosing to be miserable in training is gonna be the difference between gold medal and silver medal or whatever.
Oh.
So that's a choice. You could put yourself in position for the gold medal. It's going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But the discomfort is temporary.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's important. It's important thing to consider. It is going to be. It may be uncomfortable for longer than you like.
Yeah.
But it will end, and not changing keeps you stuck.
Exactly. Yeah. And with that, Donnie, I just want to say again, thank you so much for partnering with me on this. I think, it's just so important for those of us in this industry to work together. And so I just really appreciate you being a partner on this, because I know with our talents combined, our networks combined, we can literally change people's lives.
I know.
Right? The only thing is you gotta, and I'm saying you as in whomever is watching this, you've got to choose if you're ready for that transformation. Yeah. But I know between Donnie and myself, it's a wrap. So again, thank you so much, Donnie. We are really excited to partner with you on this. Super.
Yeah, I'm probably more excited than you are. I just try to play it cool, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm a cool guy. But real talk. Also, going forward, if there's going to be opportunity for me to maybe step in during the 8 weeks, or maybe after the 8 weeks, and provide further support. Absolutely. Because obviously this conversation was unstructured, but when we plan the stuff, like I'm finna bring a bomb for y'all, it's a wrap. So get in the please. If you feel like you want to go to the next level with your own email marketing as a copywriter or as an entrepreneur who wants to grow your business, this is like I said, I've never seen it. I don't think I've ever seen an opportunity like this one. And I just want you to get in. You don't have to. No pressure. We will still love you.
Yeah.
We'll still be friends. I just ignore a couple of text messages for you for the next couple of weeks. No, I'm just playing. If it's right for you, it's right for you. And if it's not, that's fine. But we're happy to support. I'm like you said, you're being a leader. I'm trying to be a leader. And we're happy to lead and help. Because again, my life, this is one of the things we talk about a lot too. How great life is once you've decided how you want to build it, and got a skill that enables you to support that life.
That's very.
There's no better career, honestly. I can't think of anything. I wouldn't even rather prefer to be in the NBA. They make more money than I do, but they got to work. That's hard. Trying to be an NBA level athlete, that's hard. I get to sit in this beauty rest chair.
Yep.
Right, and type on a computer. And somebody pays me checks.
Yeah.
And I can do it anywhere in the world. You do it like last time I talked to you, you were like, I just got back from France, right?
Yeah.
Right? Anywhere you want to go, you can do it.
This is
So,
true. I
anyway,
spent my entire summer 2022 in France. And yeah, Donnie, you're right. I mean, this career has been such a game changer for me, right? Um, being able to leave the country for months on end, experiencing new cultures, learning new languages. It's been amazing. I mean, it has literally been amazing. I had shared a story recently. I don't even think I shared this with you, but I remember when I was living in Chicago, I used to have to catch two trains. I was getting up every morning at about 5 a.m. And I remember one morning I was on the train, and sometimes the train, they have traffic jam too, right?
yeah, oh, yeah.
So I was on the train and we were stuck, and I was looking at the traffic to the right. And I was just sitting there thinking, this goes back to choosing your heart, right? So I was sitting there thinking, I was like, this is not the life I envisioned for myself. Like, I really just decided in that moment, I was like, nah, like, train hopping. I can't spend time with my nieces. I remember at one point in time, I was so tired from all the train hopping and all of that, and still having to walk 3 and 4 blocks downtown to get to work. I fell asleep helping one of them with their homework and was sleep talking. Didn't even realize. And they woke me up. They were cracking up laughing. They were like, "Auntie, what you talking about? We asking you for math. You talking about, you know?" And so I remember it was that train ride. I decided, okay, this has to change, right? And so
Yeah.
I started taking the necessary steps to make it change. And within months, I was freelancing full time.
Wow.
Now, fast forward, that was 2011. No, that was 2012. That was 2012. Fast forward to today, or last year rather, I was on a train. I was on a train from Rome, Italy to Naples, Italy. And I looked outside and I was looking at all the beautiful pastures and all of that stuff. And I was thinking to myself, wow, what a different train ride,
A
right?
whole different life.
Completely different train ride. My train ride in Chicago, as sad as I was in that moment, was what I needed to take that train ride in Italy, right? And so
Wow.
maybe for you all, whoever is watching, whoever is listening, if you're listening to the replay, maybe for you it's not a train ride, right? Maybe for you, you sit in your car and you're looking around you and you are literally like, man, I am sick of this. Like, and you know that feeling, right? Because it hits you hard. It hits you like right in your gut. It hurts.
Yeah.
It may be it may be a car ride for you. It may be a cubicle for you. Wherever you are literally feeling this deep disgust. Like, this can't be life. And let me tell you again, when you just make the decision to shift that, door is open. Doors open.
Yeah.
Bernard said it was a bus ride for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever it is for you, when that feeling comes, you've got to change that. That's on you.
It's interesting. Carice said, I didn't know you were in Chicago, but I could relate. I remember, and this, I'm gonna be as quick as I can with this. It's 20, what's been 2010, 2008. I can't remember the year. Whatever. No, it was before 2006. Now that I think about it. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. I lived in the suburbs and I had to get downtown.
Ooh.
I worked at Starbucks at the Marshall Fields downtown. I had to be there at like 5:45 or something. Maybe it was 6. The 350 bus doesn't run that early. I had to walk from Calumet City. You know where Calumet City is.
Yeah.
To Halstead.
No.
45-minute walk to catch the first bus. I took the 352 to 95th, and then the Red Line downtown is a 3-hour thing from before I got to my 8-hour, and then had to do it to get back home. So I'm leaving the house at, it was like I had to get up at like 2:30.
Oh.
And that wasn't even the moment that made me change my mind. I changed my mind when I got strung out on caffeine. Like, I was, anyway, working at Kmart 70 hours a week. And I remember laying on the floor, this is weird, in my family room And it was on my rare day off. I was laying on the floor and I was daydreaming about Pepsi. I said, man, I'm a junkie. I'm a straight up addict, and I need to change. And because I was working too many hours and I wasn't paying attention to my family. So anyway, I chose a hard, which turned into I'm working 70 hours a week and learning how to write copy. Which was a horrible period of time, a couple of years worth of, not being able to be attentive to my family. So I mean, hopefully your situation isn't as bad as mine. Mine was, but it paid off. Just anyway, you get to that point. You're right. So several people on this live stream here are either there or have been there. Chicago's brutal. And I remember, when I was at Kmart, I had a commute. It was like 45-minute drive to get to my 70-hour-a-week job. And I'm like, I can't believe how much time just gets lost driving.
Just in the commute. I mean, the commute has already eaten up all your energy, your time. And it's so funny. I remember, sometimes if I would miss the train, I would have to, because at the time I was living in University Park, Donnie. Yeah. So when I was working, I used to work at Hilton downtown Chicago in HR, human resources. And so if I missed the train, well, sitting in traffic was no better, right? I'm just sitting there and I would just soak in it. I mean, I would just be so exhausted and so frustrated by the time I get to work. I don't even have the mental capacity to then take on the frustrations of dealing with team members and HR issues, right?
Yes.
And so, we felt it. We've been there. Those of you who have, we've been there where you've just gotten that really deep, dark, it's a disgusting feeling.
Yeah.
And it's time. And so if that is you, if that's where you are, where you got that gut wrenching feeling, I'm encouraging you. Donnie is encouraging you. If you don't do anything else today, visit the website, crashcoursetocash.com/Donnie, DONNIE. Visit the website and just see if it's a good fit. If energetically, if it's good to you, come on, join us. Would love to have you.
Yeah. It's going to be
a decision to change. You got to make that decision.
This is going to be a shift for a lot of people. So, I mean, if again, like you said, energetically and in terms of if this is the right time for you, maybe it's not the right time for you. I think that you're missing. That sounds like pressure. This is an opportunity that's going to be huge. So, again, you also have till March 31st, which is not my way of saying wait till March 31st, but you only have till March 31st. You have a little bit of time to think about this. Maybe right now this is the right choice. Go ahead and make that choice. And if you got to get them for $75, guess what? There's no judgment about that either. That's an open option for you. If you want to pay the $297, that's fine too. So $75, could as you can get in as low as $75.
Yes.
And if not, there's the future is the future, and we're all moving forward. But this is a great opportunity. I really do got to go now. Let me see what Carrie says, because I don't want to not say this because she took the time to make a comment. A few weeks ago, I was rushed to ER and my stress level was so high that they told me it was surprising I didn't have a stroke or heart attack. Wow.
Woo.
Excessive workplace stress is driving me to shift.
Yep. I've been there. Right there. Had to go to the doctor. Yep. First of all, I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yes.
I have been there. I have literally been there where my entire left side went numb. And I wasn't even 30 years old. Right? So I'm happy. Again, very sorry you went through that. It's a traumatizing experience. Yeah. It's very scary. But I'm happy that you are identifying the fact that there has to be a shift, right? And so whatever that shift is, whether Donnie and myself can play a role in helping you with that shift, or whatever it is, I'm just happy that you know that needs to happen. And I'm hoping that it happens sooner than later for you. So again, very sorry that, you went through that. Yeah. Sending you, wishes of abundance and happiness and prosperity moving forward. So yeah, it's only up from here.
That's the truth. Once you get to that point, I think it's you have to shift, right? You're like, whatever that shift is, I can't have that next trip there.
Exactly.
And it's not worth whatever you're doing is not worth that. Health is wealth, right? Words are wealth. It's a fact, but health is wealth as well. Right. So anyway, check out the link. I really got to go. Maria, thank you for hanging out with me. You gave me 2 hours. Wow, I got a lot of time out of you.
Awesome. Look, my phone's been blowing up this whole time. But hey, I'm gonna have to get to those messages a little later on. But no, seriously, this was fantastic. Thank you, everyone, every single person who tuned in. You left a message. Maybe you couldn't type a comment, but that's okay. If you tuned in, thank you, thank you. This was really just a beautiful conversation. Again, we did not rehearse this, y'all. We didn't rehearse
totally
this
unplanned.
we got on like 5 minutes before. So
right.
you know,
and then we didn't even talk about what we were going to talk about. We just talked about something else.
I know, right? The fact that we were able to like have such a heavy but yet equally beautiful conversation today, I think just speaks volumes to the authenticity of us in, sharing with you all.
This is the network that you can plug into.
Facts.
Right. So, I mean, like the fact that we have this relationship, and that's what happens every time we get on the phone.
Yep.
You got 30 minutes. You're like, it'll be 2 hours every time. Right. So, because it's mutual respect, admiration. We're learning from each other. We're trying to help each other, build each other up. And that's what you get inside this community. And we at any level, however that works, we want that to be. We're going to come back and do this next week.
Yeah. We're doing it next week. Yeah.
Still probably no script, whatever. It's going to be what it is. But we'll bring some additional insights. We won't just talk about the same stuff. And hopefully we'll have some questions also from people. Yeah. But we'll do this. We want to keep building in and keep, we're going to extend this opportunity. It's only till March 31st. No, there's no falseness to that.
No.
But we want to continue to put the opportunity out there and continue to show value. So we're going to do this next week. I look forward to it. Can't wait.
Likewise. Excited.
It's been fun. So, all right, y'all have a great Friday, great weekend.
Great weekend. Be safe, y'all.
Yeah, be safe. Rejuvenate. Hopefully it's not too cold where you live at. We had some snow here in Chicago this morning.
Oh,
it didn't stick, but it started coming down.
Summertime fire is lit though, but I don't miss that snow.
Yeah. So anyway, y'all have a great day. We'll talk soon. And make sure at least do yourself a favor and read that. Go to the link. It's someplace in here and check it out. And just see if it's right for you, or at least think about it. We'll see what happens. All right. Y'all have a great day.